Welcome everybody to the HolloTalk Podcast. This is Jetpack Nik, and I'm here with my girl DopeQueen. Say what's up to the people.
What's up, peoples?
Yeah. So we're here today, kind of just having a conversation that we were actually having yesterday. The conversation kind of went as we were talking about, like, why do people care? Like who really cares about people's opinions, or like who really cares about what we have to say or what anybody has to say for that matter? And we just kind of went into a deep conversation about that. So we just wanted to come on the podcast and kind of, I guess, further dive into that conversation, like the psychology behind it and all that good stuff. You ain't gotta sound real smart about it, right?
You said we don't have to sound.
I know we do. The psychology. We trying to dive deep into the psychology of it. Figure out why we even care about what the hell people be saying or who's saying it or whatever. The whole idea is. So, like I guess it started because I was thinking about the podcast. The HolloTalk Podcast, and just thinking about why do people listen to it, or like what would prompt someone to listen to the podcast. Mm-hmm. And like listening back to the content and things like that, I felt like either you were getting entertainment from the podcast or you was learning something from it. At least that's what I took away from it, even though I'm the person that's on it. But like, that's what I took away from it. Like, I've always like learned something from these conversations or was entertained through having these conversations. And I just always wondered like what it was that people took from listening to these episodes. Like, why did they listen to my podcast over the next podcast, or why they didn't listen to my podcast over the next podcast? Or this is going to go into a lot of different mediums and areas, but just talking about the podcast thing specifically, I just was always curious about that, but more so like recently curious, especially since we had that conversation yesterday. I thought that was like a interesting topic to kind of dive into, so we're here now doing that.
That's right.
Let's really talk about it. So like I don't know, like I think I was thinking about like something that I could compare like this idea to, and music was always like something that always came up in my thought process. And I'm just kind of like, well, if you think about it as far as like music is concerned, right? Like, why do we listen to certain artists? You know what I mean? Like, what is it about this artist or what they've said or they are saying that makes you say, yeah, I relate to this shit, or like I actually like what they're saying, whether it's true or not? Because like some things that artists say don't be true in their music, and some of it does be true, but like what makes it cool for you to say like, damn, I'll actually want to listen to this person say whatever, versus me not listening to somebody else saying the same thing?
No, I understand. Yeah. So go ahead. Tell us your experience with music. I want to hear your comparison.
No, just like okay, so like I'm definitely gonna talk about this at another point, but J. Cole, like I heard J. Cole say and on tour in one of his songs, like he gets on stage and he says, this song I'm about to rap or whatever, it got a lot of cap in it. Like, it's a bunch of bullshit, right?
Got a lot of cap.
So he gets on stage and he performs a song, and you got 20,000 people rapping this shit word for fucking word, right? Now, he told you it's cap, it's bullshit, like nothing in the song is true or anything like that, right? And especially like in a medium like music, hip hop specifically, we pride artists on authenticity. So if somebody comes out outwardly and says, I was lying in this shit, like I wasn't speaking anything true in this song, like, and you still got 20,000 people rapping that shit word for word and feeling everything you saying, like, what is it about this person that captivates you so much that you can relate to this even when they tell you this is bullshit? You know what I mean? it's interesting. Like that's a credit to someone like J. Cole. You know,
It's a credit.
is a credit to J. Cole, to me. Like that he can even go on stage and tell 20,000 people this is some bullshit that I'm about to spit, and still have the ability to captivate 20,000 people and have them rap word for word some cat. Like, so it's like I just think that that's like an interesting thing for artists in a lot of different mediums to be able to captivate an audience. Now maybe it's just me thinking about it in a way in which I don't know if it makes sense completely, like the way that I'm thinking about it, because of the fact that I'm also a creative too. And I'm thinking about my own audience and like, why do they listen to me over the next podcast? And then me being a podcast listener and a music listener and whatever else. I think that the mindset I have of why I listen to certain things versus why I think people listen to me is two different thought processes. Now, the first thought process, like me being a listener to someone else's shit, I think I listen to like certain people's shit because it's something that I can relate to, something that I'm entertained by, or it's just something about that person that makes me, want to listen to them, or attracts me to that person or what they're talking about. Now, this average person. So I'll be curious to know why the fuck people listen to me, or why people come on the podcast and talk to me on here and things like that. And of course, like, this is just me kind of spitballing an idea that I had. Like, this isn't like something that I got scientific, mathematics behind or nothing like that. This is just me thinking of something and talking about it openly. Like, I truly don't know why people listen, but I'm happy that they do. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy that they do. And like, I think I'm curious too, as to like what they get out of listening to the podcast.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Well, you just explained all this, but have you ever listened to somebody else's podcast?
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't, about one particular thing, but like it's built like yours. What made you listen to that?
So I listen to like the podcast I listen to. Like I listen to Drink Champs. I listen to I Am Athlete. I listen to Joe Budden podcast. So like I think like all of those podcasts have like one thing in common, which, or not one thing, but they have like something in common for me. Is like I love sports, I love music. So Budden, former rapper, Noriega, rapper, I Am Athlete, a bunch of athletes. So they talk about things that I'm intrigued by. And they kind of give like a behind the scenes view of like what's going on with that person that they're interviewing, or just themselves in general, which is, a dope thing for me, or somebody like me who is intrigued by those things that they talk about. Go ahead.
I ain't mean to cut you off. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Now, you just explained to me that, you entertained by it, right? But in the back of my head, the question that you asking, I feel like you asking, why do I listen to these people? Like, what, like, credibility wise, like, why do I sit here and listen to it? Like, because you wonder why people listen to your podcast. Because I'm sitting here talking about all this shit. Who am I? I'm a regular schmegular person.
Right.
But you listen to them for what?
I mean, I listen to them for a multitude of things, because they have a lot of different conversations. So like some of the conversations are like really just entertaining. Some of the conversations are really informative. So I think is more so of like a preference thing. Because like, some episodes you like more than others for whatever reason. Like I would listen to I don't know. Like I would listen to Joe Budden for strictly entertainment. Like I wouldn't even really go there for information. I would go to I Am Athlete for more of the information like aspect, and then Drink Champs I would go to it for entertainment and information. but they're all valid in what they talk about because they have credibility. They're stamped and they're disciplined. So like for me, like I said, I'm regular dude. Like I mean, I know a lot of shit, so I think I'm credible and like what I'm talking about. But like the average person doesn't know that until they listen to the podcast or if they knew me personally. So what I'm saying is I don't know why or like what it is about me that people like, yo, like I believe in what you're talking about. And I also believe it's credible enough for me to listen to it versus me listening to somebody else who they don't know from a can of paint either, but they don't get the sense of, genuineness that they would get from listening to me.
Boom, there's your answer. Boom, that's how you fix that. Like you just said it. That's crazy. You feel like you're genuine in all your podcasts, and you feel like some people listen to you because you're relatable,
right?
And you know what you're talking about.
No, right, but like, but how do you know that though if you don't know me? Like you don't. But that's what I'm saying. You don't know me from nothing else. You like I've yet to see a person become popular just off of podcasting. So what I mean by this, like, don't get me wrong, no disrespect to anybody that's doing podcasting or anything like that, but they were already successful in another area, which means that they brought their fan base from that, from that place. Like the rappers who got podcasts, they were, famous rappers already. So they brought their rap fan base to the podcasting world. Like, of course, they're successful podcasters now, but they were successful rappers first. I've yet to see anybody just be a podcaster and just be the dopest podcaster. Like they don't, they don't got no skin in the game necessarily. Like me on the other hand, this is what it is. I'm a podcaster. Like, so I'm building my core fan base strictly off podcasting. So there's no way that you could know anything about what I talk about or what I'm doing if you don't know me or you don't listen to the pod. You know what I'm saying?
This is such a good question because this is a fact. This is really a fact.
So I'm just curious to know, like, when I walk in the room, right, and I shake your hand and you ask me what do I do, and I tell you I'm the host of the HolloTalk Podcast, and me having that conversation with you, whatever we talk about or whatever the case, what is making that person say, you know what, I'm actually going to listen to his podcast? Because I'm pretty sure, like, there's plenty of people, like, like they like to say everybody has a podcast now. So 50 of us walk in that room, right?
Yeah.
We're all podcasters. We have nothing else that we're known for besides podcasting, right? What's the difference between you shaking my hand and saying, you know what, I'm going to listen to your pod. Matter of fact, I'll even come on your podcast versus the next person saying the same shit or whatever. And they say, all right, yeah, like I'll check your shit out. And they never do. That's the interesting thing to me. And I'm trying to figure out why that is or who even really cares, honestly. And if they do, why?
And if they do, why? It's some good questions, yeah. I mean, but like, I'm stuck. Cause really, like, this is something you gotta think about. Like, why would niggas want to listen to me, right?
Yeah, like who really cares? Like, which is, the name of the episode, but like honestly, who really cares and why do you care? Like you have no reason to follow me other than an interaction or word of mouth or whatever the case. Now, don't get me wrong. Please don't get me wrong. Nobody listening to this or anything. I support, all the support that y'all give me and things like that. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love the support. Shouts out to y'all listening and all that shit. But why? Like, like I'm trying to build a platform for not only myself but for other people who are creatives, to kind of just share their story, be able to unapologetically be themselves in a world where you can't be that. Now, maybe that's one of the, the shining lights, if you will, about what I do, how I do it, that attracts people to listen to the HolloTalk podcast. but it's just something that you won't know unless hit the ground running and you talk to these people. Like,
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure I know like a certain amount of people that I've impacted with the podcast because these are people that I talk to on an everyday basis, or people who I've spoken to about their impact, or the impact that they felt listening to the podcast. But I also know that it's a ton of people who I haven't met and probably never will meet, who probably listen to the podcast and they're impacted in ways in which I wouldn't know unless I talk to them.
Mhm.
So like that part right there is the most intriguing thing to me, and I'm pretty sure it's like that in like a lot of other disciplines too, like music, again, bringing that up, or like people who do movies, or athletes or whatever. Like, there's plenty of people that they affect on a regular basis that they don't know about, but it's just something about them, the way they shoot a jump shot, or the way that they rap on a song, or the way that they conduct the interview that influences somebody or impacts somebody's life in a positive way that they don't know. And I always found that like completely like intriguing and interesting, because like how do you have that much reach and that much influence to be able to do that? And then what do you like what do you do with that once you know that you're impacting people that way?
$1 million question. But that's crazy. I mean, is there a word for that though? Like, I'm trying to think. I can't run through it. To sum that all up. When you have that type of control, like what is that? A
And
natural
I guess
born, like
I
you're
guess
born with that. But
I don't know. Like I guess the word would be influence, but
that is just influence over people,
yeah,
over
but
nothing.
it's more so like how do you even attain that level of influence? Like I couldn't imagine being like like a Beyonce or something like that, like an influence like that, like where I got a fucking beehive, like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like I can't even fathom some shit like that. Like it sounds insane. Like like famous people say like, yo, like I wish I wasn't famous. Like that shit is like draining. It's a struggle to just be known by so many people and have that kind of influence, and every move you make influences somebody else that you don't know or that you're not trying to influence, or whatever the case may be. Like I couldn't imagine having that kind of influence. But just the influence that I do have is like it's trippy to me, because it's just like, well, why me? Like why do you listen to me? Like what is it about me doing what I do make you want to listen to what I'm saying? Like, again, don't get me wrong. I appreciate the support. I hope I'm influencing a lot of these people, and I'm not saying I have a problem with this influence that I have, or the influence that I wish to attain. It's just an intriguing thought to me that this is possible and people actually resonate with what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Because
Right.
like I got a group of friends, and I feel like my influence is pretty strong there. Like, like I feel like my friends look to me for a lot of different things, and I'm okay with that. I'm cool with that. That means that I hold a high place in their lives. But the stranger from wherever, I never met you. So how the hell do I hold this much influence in your life? You know what I mean? It's just a trippy thing.
That would have been amazing if it was a thought to even add like a random listener just to be on the podcast for this episode particularly. But if you ask me why I listen to you, I feel like if we was not friends, you are relatable though. You are like, and you easy to listen to. That's one. Let's just talk about it, right? So when you listening to people, it got to be something that's pleasing to my ear. If it ain't, I'm not listening. That's a fact. I'm not, like, it goes from the tone of your voice and everything, right? So boom bow, you got that. You did that, right? And then I feel like for the people that know you and why they listen to your podcast in particular is, we know that you like you educated, bro. You got that. Like your mouth are really tight up there, bro. Like you got that. Like, and then you make sure that you know certain things before you get up in here and you talk about it, right? And you around. Like, if people, for those people that don't know you, but for the niggas that do know you, we know you be around. Like you the only person I know that I got a friend in each state, bro. Like, I don't, like, you talk to everybody. Like, you can really move in any direction, anything, and be straight. That's why I know for the niggas that fuck with you, that's why we listen. Because we know the shit you say is credible. Because I know you do your research, bro, and I know you into that. For the niggas that don't know you, I genuinely want to know what makes them stay here and be like, I'm gonna listen to this nigga. I'm gonna listen to what he got to say, because it'd be scary. Like, it'd be like, yo, I don't know this nigga from nobody yet. This nigga's in my conversation. It's like having a conversation with somebody over here and a nigga back here is in your business, and it's like, am I that interesting? You listening to me for, bro? That's crazy. Like, I really want to know. But as a stranger to most people, like you played on the music thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's relatable stuff. It's an experience. It's not. I feel like you build credibility from that. Like, I feel like some people see potential in you and be like, okay, you saying something spicy here. I think you can get people to listen to. I feel like when you start saying things that majority is like into or going through or want to hear, you're gonna be it. You sit here, you talk about all the best things in the world that people really get down to, bro. You sit here, you talk about music, you talk about sports, you talk about everyday life things, and you get into it all. Like, your podcast covers it all topics and everything. That's why in my head, if I was a stranger to you, that's why I would listen. And you give it like it is. And then you got niggas like me on the podcast that don't give a fuck what they say. So, when they come out my mouth, it'd be like, where does it be like, oh, wow. You be having this
for sure. For sure. No, I'm agreeing with you. So I also think too, like, it'd be a lot of people that have platforms that people either really agree with or really don't agree with, but the fact remains the same that people still listen, right? Like, I'm just interested to also figure that part out too, because like again, who really gives a fuck? Like, who really cares about, like, this person saying whatever? Like we sit in the barbershop all fucking day, 20 hours, and just talk about whatever and never get your hair cut, no shit like that. Like,
I've experienced that. I've seen it. Yes.
Like it's cool, but it's cool though. Like it's cool though. Is a cultural staple, and it allows you to be yourself, unapologetic. But again, none of us are. I ain't gonna say none of us, but the average person isn't quote unquote credible or have the type of credibility that the journalist has, or the interviewer has, or whatever. Like, but the average person might want to listen to that person talk about something more than they want to hear this quote unquote credible motherfucker talk about something. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people who are in a lot of positions of power who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So that's, I understand that. Why the fuck would I listen to you? I don't care what you're saying, because you don't know what you're talking about. I know a lot, and of course, like, I'm pretty sure we could name a lot of people who fit that mold, who fit that bill. But you also know a lot of motherfuckers who are not the quote unquote, professional, if you will. But when they speak, people listen. You know what I mean? Now, what's the difference between listening to that person versus not listening to the other person?
You said it.
No, yeah, I know that. Like, I know, like, my answer, but I'm thinking beyond myself. Like, this isn't for me. I know how I think and why I think what I think. This is about me trying to figure out why, or why the other people think the way that they think, or why they make the decisions that they make. Because, of course, there's a lot of people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but people still listen to them religiously.
Politics. I don't want to get into it, but I feel like a lot of niggas up there don't know what the fuck they doing.
But that's what I mean.
Still listen to them niggas though. Yes, I agree. Now, I don't want to bring up moments and or bad things I feel like people going to comment on. Yeah. But are we allowed to use examples?
I mean, sure.
Okay, so you know the Dave Chappelle special?
Okay.
The recent special? Now, this man was talking about a community in which, you know, a lot of people think you are not a part of and you shouldn't have nothing to say on.
Right.
But a lot of that community still paid for tickets to that man's show to sit down and listen to that shit. Why?
Right.
Because y'all want to see what he got going on. Y'all want to see if he really in tune with the shit y'all got going on, right? That's why you listen. You want to see where their brain is at. That's me. I want to see if you really experience. I want to see if you're going to say the things that I'm truly feeling inside to see if I can really relate to you. That's why I listen to, like, you know, you ever like listen to like an underground rapper?
Yeah.
How spicy you is. Like, I'm gonna listen to you because I already know these A-list celebrities is spicy. I already know what they get into. But I want to see what you got, to see if you could even sit with them niggas at that table, bro. You know, I want to see if you could even sit with me at my table, nigga. Like, I'm not even famous, but I want to see where you come from and see why I should even listen to you. Why I should.
I'm listening.
And that there, I want to say, is why people actually listen. Because it makes no sense how you could be mad or not want to hear something, but still do it.
But still listen. Like, and like, I'm glad you brought up the Chappelle thing too, because he says in the, I want to say it's the Sticks and Stones specials, where he be like all you motherfuckers that don't want to listen to what I say, remember, nigga, you clicked on my face. It's like you clicked on me to listen to what the fuck I gotta say. Now, like, talking about specifically the most recent special, The Closer, like when when he was talking about the LGBTQ community and things like that, it wasn't necessarily about that though. It was about
right.
It was about racism and classism and the progress in which the LGBT community has made in the last 20 years versus the progress Black people have made in the last 400 years. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like an attack on that community or anything like that, but people hear what they want to hear. They listen to what they want to listen to. Now, again, people who took offense to it still listen, and they still had an opinion. Why the fuck would we listen to those people? Who really cares? Who really cares what he said if he isn't saying anything about you specifically? Or you're missing the fucking point. You're missing the point as to what he's saying. So we who understands what he's saying or what someone else is saying, like the true point, why do we care what y'all say? But you're still going to talk. You know what I mean? Somebody's going to listen to you. You're still going to talk. But why do you care? What's the reason? What's the reason? It holds no weight. It holds nothing to the actual point. But you're still going to find a way to talk out your ass and still have an opinion on something. Everybody has an opinion on something. But why do we care? We're in a social media age where everybody is a fucking journalist. Like, everybody writes a comment, everybody makes a post, everybody's on IG Live or whatever. Everybody has an opinion. Why do we listen to these people? Who really gives a fuck? There's only a select few people who actually deserve our attention and our feedback and our response. Everybody doesn't necessarily deserve that because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Nice. You know what's crazy is you say that, but we still listen to the motherfuckers that believe, okay, well, I'm not one to say that science is not real. Why the fuck am I listening to Albert Einstein and all these other sciencey niggas? Like, what you think, credibility comes from, like, evidence and shit like that. But I'm like, why should I still believe any of that? Why should I believe what you telling me? You know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be shit like that. It'd be crazy. But then it'd be like, I listen to it because I know I don't have no experience on it.
Right.
I know I don't got no knowledge on that shit, none of it. So I listen to it because maybe you do have more than I do. When you're using actual, like, diction from, like, whatever you talking about, it'd be like, maybe that nigga might be smart. Maybe that nigga might be on the side. Like, you ever heard, oh God, this made me laugh. You ever heard, like, a hood person talk, like somebody deep in it, like, like, take one of them niggas from Paid in Full. I swear, even if they just playing characters. If I was to sit down and have a conversation with Rico, I know I wouldn't understand not a single motherfucking thing that nigga talking about. How to push all that shit, right? But I'm gonna believe that nigga, he know how to do it. That nigga's an expert in all that shit because I know I don't know how to do it. So you do that shit, crap.
No, and like even with something like that, or just people talking about something that they're quote unquote an expert in, or whatever the case. If you don't know, right? If you have no recall to anything that someone's talking about to you specifically, or something that you're listening to, I'm not saying that you supposed to just take everything with a grain of salt, because that's not true. That's not how you learn. Like, you definitely gotta do your own research on shit and figure out what makes sense to you and what's true and what's not true to you. Like, everything isn't black and white. So when we do have these conversations and certain people are talking about certain things, whether they're credible or not, you still have to listen, I guess, which I guess answers the question as to why people listen to motherfuckers who don't know what they're talking about. But if you do know better, why does it matter what they're saying? Like, yeah, they have a voice, they have a platform, but if they're on this platform and they're talking about something that you know is bullshit or is false or whatever the case, why does it matter? It shouldn't matter. Who really cares? It should only matter if what the person's saying is true or not. You shouldn't give credit or any credence to anything that like anything that's narrative based. Like, I don't give a fuck if you're trying to make it fit your narrative. If it's not true and it's not affecting the bottom line, then I don't give a fuck. I don't care. That's just me though. But the mass amount of people don't think like that. That's why people who don't know what they're talking about have a platform, and people listen to these people on a daily basis, and they got millions of followers and subscribers, but they talk a bunch of bullshit. Why?
Yo, I swear it must be the passion in them niggas' eyes. It has to be. It has to be the passion. Like, I don't care about most things, right? But if a motherfucker coming to me and start talking about how libraries is probably like the best place to ever be in your entire life, and that nigga feel that shit in his soul, I'm gonna listen. I want to know why. I genuinely know why. That's crazy. You know, it's crazy. It's like that in music too. Like, even with the stuff that just be like low-key bops, like, you could tell when somebody put their hard work into something, you gonna listen, you gonna pay attention, because like, damn, I support you in that. Even if I don't know you, I support that because I can see you work hard. You know what I'm saying? Or like, if you know just a little bit of somebody's backstory, it'd be like, okay, you did that.
Yeah, I mean, but like, again, even with something like that too, like, does it really does it really matter? Like, okay, so like, at what point does it just become music? Like, we're just gonna talk about music. Like, at what point does it just become music? Like, it's just good music. I don't really care about whether what you're saying is authentic or not. I just want to hear good music. I want to hear a good beat. I want to hear, the way that you put these words together. Like, I enjoy that part versus you're not being authentic enough. Like I said, I go back to the J. Cole thing. Like, he literally stood on stage and said, this next song I'm about to perform is a lot of cap. It's a lot of bullshit. But you still got 20,000 people singing this song word for fucking word. Now, again, I think that's a credit to him and his artistry, him just being a dope artist. But some people might frown upon that and be like, nigga, what? I'm not rapping this shit. Like, you lying. It's kind of like the
like you lying.
Like, kind of like the ghostwriting situation. Like, people don't like people who ghostwrite or like rap ghostwritten lyrics because it's not authentic to them. Like, it's not authentic to their story or whatever. So you lose credibility. I don't. You can say whatever. You can say the hottest lines. I don't give a fuck because it's not yours. Versus some people being like, I don't give a fuck if it ain't theirs. It's hot. I like it. Like, it sounds good. Like do you feel like both of those can exist in the same medium?
They do. Not for me, because I'm a vibe for whatever. If whatever I feel good in my soul. But I do. I've heard people say that shit too. I see people get mad about that a lot. A lot. Like, especially that ghostwriting thing. People really do not like that. And them two mediums do exist. Because I know for a fact when I hear something that I know is like actual factuals, I'm a vibe with it deeper. Because it's like, damn, you put your soul in that, you know? Like it's the passion for me. That's what make me listen to people. I'll give you that. From me, my perspective, it's the passion. So yeah, when shit be 100% truthful, I'm gonna listen to it. I'm gonna vibe with it. But when it's not, it'd be like, this is trash. This should not be played nowhere. But damn, that's crazy. People really do think like that.
No, right. But do you feel like that in everything that you listen to, like, or like just partake in, whether that's like you watching a movie or like you listening to music or you reading a book or you listening to a podcast, like does that apply to everything or just music?
Movies, yes. Because I hate to see a movie, right? Because one, let's talk about it. They all actors. This is nothing they personally experience. Right. And then even when it comes to like script writers and directors, this is nothing they personally experience. So it's like, this is really you observing outside shit and making it into your own.
Right.
So it's like, is it really authentic? It's not. And that's why I'd be like, I don't really fuck with that movie. I don't really like that. It don't seem realistic. It's not real. It don't touch me that way. Like a lot of, like we can relate with a lot of BET movies because we've observed that, or like we've been in that lifestyle. We understand that. But you know, a lot of other stuff, I'd be like, I don't like that. Like, don't get me wrong. I could relate heavily to some Tyler Perry shit, and it's weird that I can. But a lot of that shit nigga put on the screen, I'd be like, damn, did he just depict my whole family? That's so weird. But then it'd be like the fake movies, or it'd be like, you know, oh my God, you ever seen a Hallmark movie?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the fakest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, super cheesy.
Super cheesy, terrible acting. And it'd be like, I'm not relating with this. This is not good. This is not that, you know? Or even some big movies, it'd be like, ew, like, it's not that. You should have did this. You should have made it better. It should have been this, but it's not. And now I don't fuck with it because it don't do nothing for me, right? It's not authentic, like you said. And it's like, I'm not vibing with it. And then I think it goes for movies and music for me. Like, yeah. But music, I don't really always mind ghostwriting, especially when it comes to R&B and stuff like that. Like, people sometimes don't have that gift. Like, I get it. Like, shoot, I could put some things on paper and make it sound shimmy shimmy yaha, but I can't sing nor can I rap, bro. Like, so it's like, damn, you got to use the next best thing. So I get that.
You good? No, so like just listening to you talk, like I was just thinking about being a creative, right? And that's every aspect. Like I said, music, film, television, podcast, and writing, whatever. Like I think this is a dangerous game to play as a creative, trying to figure out why people think the way that they think, especially if you're creating based off of that idea, because all of this shit is subjective, right? Like, I could be like on a podcast talking the realest shit you've ever heard, right? That doesn't mean everybody's going to relate to it. Like the same thing when we talk about people who are talented at certain things. Like, a lot of us don't listen to not listen to. A lot of us don't give the same kind of credit to like mumble rap or some shit like that as we would give to traditional hip hop, right? Because it's different. Now, like, if you ask me personally, one of these mumble rappers, I ain't gonna say nobody's name, but like one of these mumble rappers are not nearly as talented musically than someone like Nas or Jay, right? Now, that's just me subjectively listening to it and applying my own experiences to what I like and what I don't like. But to someone who likes mumble rapper number one, like they could be the best ever, and you can't tell them that this person isn't talented. Somebody can pick up a guitar. I could listen to Jimi Hendrix play the fucking guitar, and I'll be like, yo, this is the best guitar player I've ever heard. Somebody else could pick up a guitar and just fucking strum it or whatever. And to someone else, they'd be like, yo, this is the best shit I've ever heard. And you can't tell either one that they're wrong.
Right.
Like whether or not you like, you know, like, I guess like some things are black and white and like some things just can't be like I don't give a fuck what you say. This shit is trash and it's always gonna be trash. But some people like trash. So
yeah, some people like trash. That's a fact.
So in turn, you can't tell them that they're wrong. Like there's nothing about like, you know, their opinion that you can say is wrong, whether you argue it down to the death or not. Like it doesn't matter. It's subjective. It's like you can't look at a fucking scoreboard and say, all right, this is definitive. Like this is definitively better than the next thing. Like Vanilla Ice got a number one record. Like he's not better than DMX. Like, you know what I mean? Like
he not.
But you know, he got the first number one in hip hop. So I guess technically you know, it's on the even playing field. But if you ask the people, it's not, you know, like Vanilla Ice, come on, son. Like, so I don't know. I think it's just it's a dangerous game as a creative to try to equate what you do to how people receive it, the masses receive it, because not everybody's gonna like what you do, what you put out. Hopefully some people do like it, but not everybody's gonna like it. And that's just a fact of reality.
That must be nerve-wracking.
I mean,
like in your head to like, ooh.
It can be like, you know, like even when you yourself, you know, acting on stage, like, you know, people sitting in the stands looked at you on stage, and I'm pretty sure it was a bunch of people that said, yo, she's killing this shit. Like, this is dope. Somebody else was fucking asleep or snoring in the back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, not saying that you was trash or nothing like that, because I would never say that, because that's just not true, at least in my estimation. But somebody else could be bored as fuck and be like, I don't like who really cares? Like,
right
about this shit. And
right.
Both could be right. It's tough as a creative. Yeah. Because, you know, especially if you're a creative who's putting your all into something, and you know, you really feel like, yo, I'm gonna knock them on the ass with this one, and they be like, boo, nigga, get out of here. Like, that make you feel some type, like. And I don't know, like, what you can do as a creative to achieve the levels that you want to achieve if you continuously base your success on other people's opinion. And that's difficult to not do. That's completely difficult to not do, because my success is like based off of whether you think it's good or not. Like, of course I could think it's good, but that's not going to get me as far as me having a fan base. How do I get a fan base if you don't like it? That's a tough thing to deal with. That's why I commend people who've been in show business for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and they, you know, put out classic at the classic at the classic. I mean, not everybody's gonna put out a classic every time, but if you got more classics than not, nigga, how the fuck did you do that? Like set you apart from the other million rappers there's ever been in life. You know, like, I'm pretty sure it was somebody as a better. I'm pretty sure it was a better rapper than you, but they didn't get a shot. People didn't resonate with what the fuck they was talking about. but people resonate with so and so, and they got a 20-year career, millions of dollars, and all this other shit. I don't know. Why is that? Who really gives a fuck? Does it matter? Does it not matter? Do the artists even give a fuck?
That's a good ass question. Cause
I have you perplexed. I'm sorry.
Yo, like bad. Like it may look like I'm zoned out, but he really got me thinking over here heavy. And it'd be like, why the fuck do I fuck with these people? Like, why am I listening to this shit?
That's the $1 million question, right?
100%. And it'd be anything. Like, why did I pay all that money to sit in a classroom, right? For somebody who claims they got all these different degrees and all this different knowledge for them to teach me something. Why did I listen to you?
And how many times have we sat in class and was like, what the fuck are they talking about? Like what are you even saying, bro? Like why are we even learning this shit? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then and then you fucking, you know, you watch a YouTube video or some shit like that, and you be like, yo, this is the illest shit I've ever heard. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't really completely grasp the reasons as to why we do the things that we do, or even if we have the capacity to even care about why we do what we do, or listen to the people that we listen to.
This is crazy, isn't it?
It is. It is. It's a perplexing idea. We could probably talk about this shit for forever, but yeah, I don't know. I just definitely felt the need to like ask that question. Now, I definitely want to have other people, like, you know, have other people put their input on this too. Like when this episode drops and everything. Like, I definitely want people to think about it themselves and be like, why do I listen to such and such? Like what attracts me to listen to this? Like, even if I don't relate to anything that they're talking about, or like or even find interest in anything, I still listen. But why? Why do I do that?
That's the question for parents too, or family in general.
What you mean?
Listening to advice from them. Like,
oh yeah.
You ever ask somebody for advice?
Oh yeah.
Why? Why did I go to that person next? I do that a lot to you, and I be thinking, why?
I mean, that's because I know what I'm talking about. Like, I'm real elite in my advice giving.
I'm real elite. All right, y'all heard it here. Y'all better call him if y'all need a therapist.
Nah. I'm charging the house. I need it all. $1 million a minute for my services.
I'm crying.
No, but yeah, like even something like advice, like just everything, like everything that makes you interact with another human being, whether you're like talking to them physically or listening to them do music or podcasting or poetry or whatever else, or reading a story. Like, why did I pick this one up instead of that one? Why did I do this instead of that? Why did I click on this video instead of that video?
That's a fact. Yo, you really got my mind blown over here. Have you ever been on YouTube and type something in, but you going through all the different options, but they all technically the same thing? What made you choose that? Damn, what? Because I'll never choose the first one. I will look through them all, but what made me choose the third one or the fifth one? Like, what? It just be like, oh my God, damn, that's crazy, because I really don't be looking at them. Damn. This might be a thing. The question why has always been dangerous, because you can go deeper and deeper and deeper into some why. Like,
no, it really is dangerous. Like I said, especially like doing this kind of thing, like I don't think you can allow yourself to wonder why too much, because that I think that separates you from your own reality. Like when we talk about social media and things like that, like you know, you looking at fucking thousands of people's lives a day, like literally, like you're literally looking at thousands or whoever you are, millions of people's lives a day while you're living your own. So it takes you out of your own reality, your own life, and you're inserting yourself in the other thousands of people's lives that you're looking at on social media, whether that's Twitter, Instagram, or whatever else that you use. Being that separate from your own reality for that long is very dangerous, because you then don't be in tune with yourself. You then try to live your life based off of the other shit you've seen in everybody else's life. And as a creative, that's the worst thing you want to do, at least to me, because one, that separates you from your authenticity and your genuineness, which is something that a lot of people really, really are attracted to, especially when it comes to things like this, that credibility factor. Also, it shortens your scope on things too, because you're taking everybody else's opinion and you're not forming your own. But like I said, this is all subjective to how I'm thinking about these things. This might not be true to somebody else.
Well,
Is this true to you?
Yeah. Like like some of it, I'm listening. That's why I'm just like, damn. You're speaking some actual factuals right now. Boy. You speak that's Snapple fact you just said.
But that's why it's important to separate yourself from certain things after a while, just to take that time to be isolated in your own space, in your own thoughts, in your own mind, so that way you can kind of just recalibrate and make sure that everything makes sense once you take a step back from it. You know, because like, you know, your judgment can be clouded when you're in certain situations. Like you wouldn't normally do certain things outside of a situation looking in versus you being in it. You know, I think that the perception of other people's opinions truly mattering really, really shortens your scope on things, because of course everybody can have an opinion. That's you know, I'm not saying that everybody shouldn't have an opinion, or maybe I am, I don't know, but everybody can say what they want to say. Everybody can say what they want to say, but it doesn't always matter. Everybody's opinion doesn't always hold weight. It's not always concrete, and nor should it be, because everybody is not talking from the same level. Everybody doesn't have the same credibility to say certain things. Therefore, why am I listening to you? You can talk all you want, but why does your opinion hold weight like this person's? Why do I give a fuck? Like for instance, like when we talk about athletics, like you got all these journalists talking about, oh, such and such is a great player, this, that, and the third. Like they had got Melo out the league for a year based off of a narrative of he can't play basketball, right? If you ask every player, people who actually hold credibility because they're on the court with this person, they're like, he's still one of the 20 best players in the league. Or I'm just throwing numbers out, but like he's like still one of the 20 best players in the league. Why is he not in the league? But then you got the other people saying, well, he doesn't fit in the, this, whatever, because this number says that and this, that, and the third. Like, why does your opinion matter? Like, you're not credible enough to make that decision to to create a narrative to push somebody out for a year, when the people who actually have credibility is saying he's one of the best we've ever seen. So yeah, you can have your opinion, but your opinion shouldn't supersede the opinions that actually fucking hold weight. That
Right.
treat.
Oh yeah, that's deep. It don't hold weight unless you allow it to hold weight. That's good.
Exactly. So why do people allow certain people's opinions to hold weight? Like, is that something like with us as people, like we want to please everyone so bad that we allow everybody's opinion to matter?
Yeah.
Like what is it?
Oh, that might be that though. It really might. I mean, in a lot of different things. Yeah, I feel like, yeah. Why other people's opinions matter, I don't fucking know. But yeah, people's opinions do hold weight. Like, but I don't know why. I don't know why. I feel like that question of why past this is something like each individual gonna have to answer, because I feel like every answer is gonna be different.
Of course.
But like, I know that. Like, you ever had somebody say something about you and you know you don't give two fucks?
Mm-hmm.
Or like if rumors were spread and you like, I know that shit not real, so I don't care. But then you hear some other shit that one, it may not be about you, right? You didn't heard it from the messiest person you fucking know. I'm gonna believe that shit. I'm gonna believe that shit. I am.
But
That
even
means,
you, but even you being the person that the rumor's about, you know it's not true. Like, you know it's not true. This rumor isn't true, right? But
right, no,
but it still matters to you that people are saying this shit.
no, you don't put me in that.
No, I'm not
I'm
saying you. I'm
don't
not
care.
saying you. I'm saying you as a general thing. Like, not
Yeah,
you.
people always go, yeah, because why? Damn, that question of why are people talking about me? And then it's, why would they say that? And it's just like, why is this happening? Why am I constantly explaining myself about some shit that I know is not true? And then it just, the why really goes around and around and around. That's crazy. Yeah, people really do give a fuck about everybody's opinion.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm leaning towards bad thing, because like I said, everybody can have an opinion. Don't get me wrong, but they all don't hold weight. They truly don't. And for people to allow that to be the case, that only takes away from, you know, themselves. It takes away from their essence. It takes away from their ability to move through in a proper way, because you give too much of yourself to other people and their opinions, when in reality that shit doesn't matter. What you eat don't make me shit. You feel me? I find it funny that you just stare at me after every sentence I say.
Cause it's like, damn, now I gotta find words to say. And you should just really like throw me off, because it's like, damn. The question of why continuously pops up. I can't go too deep into why, because why go get on my nerves. I'm like, damn. You spitting actual factuals, bro. This was a good question. I'm gonna give you a pat on the back for that.
No, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I just wanted to ask that question because as a creative, I just always found it interesting that I can have this kind of influence on people who I may not know personally or never met, or might have met, crossing paths real quick or something like that, but I still had a major impact on them, just as far as them saying, I want to check out this podcast, and then checking it out and actually sticking to it and sticking with it, versus the next person who they might cross paths with and say, yo, I got a podcast, like check me out. And they don't get them the time of the day. So
Wow.
yeah, I just why is that the case? Why is that a thing? Like what about me is making you stay or has you intrigued enough to want to learn more? Like, that's the idea, the thought process that I had on this particular question. And we definitely touched on a lot of different aspects of it, which is also good that I wasn't thinking about when I proposed this question to you before. You look so perplexed. I'm sorry.
No, because even after this ends, I'm really about to be in my room just, why the fuck does any of that even matter?
Yeah, like why do we care? Like, does it matter? Like does it honestly matter? Does anybody's opinion matter more than yours? Is the question. I think that's the like the foundational question. Does anybody else's opinion matter more than yours about whatever it is? Like, it doesn't matter what it is. You can answer this if you would like.
Oh, about what? About anything?
About anything. Like, does anybody else's opinion matter more than yours?
No. Not at all. I mean, only because in my head, I'm always believe that I'm right. I'm gonna listen to their side, don't get me wrong. But I'm always believe that I'm right, and nobody's opinion really gonna matter. Unless it matters. Like, oh fuck me. This is crazy.
But what makes it matter though? Like, to you,
like if it's something of importance that I find important, it matters. However, if it's some things that is not important, it does not matter. I really hope that answered your question, because that's all I got for you right now.
No, it definitely it answers the question. Again, like I said, I can't tell you wrong. Like if that shit makes sense to you, it makes sense to you. I was just curious to know, like what about it makes you want to listen to somebody else like opinion or what they have to say, or does it really matter what they have to say?
If you feel strongly about it, I'm gonna say it matters.
All right.
However, if it does not benefit me, it does not matter personally to me.
Okay, so it could definitely be one and the same for you for the most part. Like, you could be passionate about what you're saying, but if it doesn't apply to me or what I'm trying to figure out, I don't really give a fuck. But I hear you though.
Ooh, if you're passionate enough, I'm gonna listen. I'm not saying I'm gonna hear you, but I'm listening.
Gotcha.
Like, I know. Is that am I saying it backwards?
No.
Like, is it I hear you, but I'm not listening?
No. I'm listening, but I don't hear you.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, passionate, you can be telling me something that you're real passionate about. I'm listening. However, like, you ever had somebody passionately tell you about yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Because what you did probably like really made them feel some type of way. But you listening because you could see the hurt or whatever they feeling in their eyes or whatever. Mm-hmm. But you listening. But when it comes to the ending of that, and it's like, I don't care. I care enough to listen because you was hurt enough to come to me and say something. But do I care enough to really take that and do something with it? Or like to truly let it sink in? I don't. No, I don't care. I care enough to listen. But your opinion and whatever else comes like at the end of what you're saying.
No, that's a fact. It's like, okay, so like, let me ask you this question. So like, have you ever been in a situation where like you've been in a conversation or something like that, and and like you really talking your shit, like you really passionate about what you're talking about, you getting that shit off your chest, and then after you do it, you sit back and be like, I don't even think they cared about what the fuck I was talking about. Like, you ever felt like that?
Genuinely, every time I talk to my parents. Yes, I do. All the time. And it could be about stupid stuff. Like, these bag of chips is so good, Dad. He ain't be looking me right in my eye, but I know that nigga do not give a fuck about what I'm talking about.
Or it'd be like the memes and shit where they be like the person be having the stressed out face and they be like, I'm on my third. Wow, that's crazy. My seventh, yo, and they still talking like that. That's what I be thinking sometimes. Like people don't be giving a fuck. Like I've been like we've been talking for probably an hour and a half or some shit like that right now, and it's somebody probably like, I don't give a fuck about what they talking about, but we sitting here, we really trying to figure out like,
right, yeah, like we chatting it
why.
up.
Like we genuinely trying to figure this shit out. But I mean, I guess it's all good though. That's why I said, like, you know, if you're gonna be a creative of any kind, it's best to just allow your opinions to matter the most, because if you don't, you're gonna be chasing something you can't catch, basically.
Right.
You're gonna be chasing the approval of people whose likes and dislike changes every day. Like one day they like you, the next day they don't. So it's kind of like, don't necessarily chase the approval of people, or the, you know, or don't allow their opinions to hold as much weight as your own. But definitely listen, though. Definitely listen, but everybody don't need to be heard. That sounds bad, but fuck it, right?
No, I mean, no, but I understand. But I feel like the people that should not be listened to, right?
Right.
That should not be heard at all. Because it'd be like, I think that's the one that's people that spit out pure ignorance in their opinions.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those don't matter at all. But the ones that you know got a little something in it, I'm gonna listen. I'm not gonna hit you if I don't care, but I'm gonna listen. That's crazy. It's so many different things that determines whether or not I'm gonna listen to you or not. And that's exactly what the question was in the beginning. That is so crazy. And we sit here and talk about, and it's crazy. Oh, God, it's in my head right now. I'm really gonna be listening to music. I'm really about to go through all my artists that I listen to now and be like, are you from right there? Damn, y'all about to lose a lot of fans. Hopefully this don't blow up.
You're gonna lose a lot of fans.
Huh?
Oh yeah. Dude, I mean, we gotta blow up. Blow up, sure.
I know, yeah, hopefully, yeah, I'm praying that this do, but damn, a lot of people gonna be mad. Because look through your artists and see which one really should be in your playlist. A lot of them really ain't talking about nothing.
Actual, nothing that it adds any value to you.
Right. At all.
Shit, even for entertainment purposes, are they really that entertaining? Like, you feel
Don't
me?
get me started. Oh gosh, some things be passing by on my playlist, and I'd be like, "How did you make it this far?
How did you make it this far?
Like, how did they even put you on Amazon Music, boy? Like, how?" Oh, I don't know if you about to wrap it up.
No. I was letting you was talking.
Oh, my bad. But there was a person I was thinking about when we was talking about like credibility. What makes you want to listen to this person?
Okay.
You ever heard the Breakfast? I know you listen to the Breakfast Club.
Of course.
I know you do. That nigga Charlamagne the God.
That's
we're gonna talk about all of them as a whole. So let's talk about Angela. Is it Yee or Lee?
Angela Yee. Yeah.
All right. So she does this thing where it's like she give relationship advice, and I be listening to it because it be like people be genuinely asking, "Yo, what should I do? My boyfriend, my girlfriend not doing this no more, and I'm worried it's about to end." And she giving them advice. She be like, "Well, maybe you need to blah 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 or blah blah blah," and I'd be like, "Yo, you're calling on an early morning radio station to get relationship advice for free. Like, and it'd be like, I don't see her credibility because, girl, I don't hear you talk about your relationships often enough for me to even call you and ask about some shit like that. But then it'd be like, cool, I guess they know something I don't know, or like, whatever. And then it'd be Charlamagne that be saying the craziest shit. Like,
anything.
Bro, how are you, the biggest ass that I listen to every fucking morning, is allowed to give somebody the title of Donkey of the Day, but you say the most wildest shit out your mouth every day? And it'd be like, you able to give somebody a label of being an ass? Like, but look at you. And it'd be like, damn, where's that credibility at? Where did you come from with being able to tell people that they're wrong or you're an idiot? Like, why would you do that? And it'd be like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, that's essentially what I was asking the entire time. Like, why do we listen to people who don't have credibility or don't, or like they not stamped in no kind of way? Like,
but I still listen to it. So what is that?
That's what I'm saying. Why you got they the number one radio show, the morning radio show in the fucking country, basically. Like, I mean,
number one.
I mean, obviously, they got people who listen to them for whatever reason. Now, like I said, shouts out to them and whatever. But they just the names that came up. But
right. Oh, don't get me wrong. I listen to y'all religiously.
Right.
I love the morning show. Like,
but you're right though. But you're right in what you say. Like with the relationship advice thing. Like, people ask they friends who are not in relationships or they got the failed relationships what to do, and then you take advice from this person. Like, why the fuck are you taking advice from the person that got divorced 3 times or got you know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
I'm about to start scream laughing because that is something that I think about all the time, bro.
But this is true though. But this is true just for people in general. Like and not even just relationship advice or anything like that, but it's just like the one that we on right now. But people really take real relationship advice and apply it to their relationships from motherfuckers who not in relationships or never had a successful relationship or nothing like that. Like, why am I gonna take business advice from somebody who never had a dollar in their fucking life? Why am I gonna listen to you? Now, of course, like I said, you have an opinion. You can say what you want to say. You might say the right thing. Right. In the case, like, that's cool. But why am I listening to you? You've never made a dollar in your life, bro. Like, you've never had a business. Why am I gonna take business advice from you? I don't know. It's a difficult thing to figure out why we ask people certain questions and listen to people's opinions. I think about like young kids who are athletes. Like, they father tell them the same thing the coach tell them. The same thing. They will not listen to their dad at all. They will not listen to their father at all. They'll listen to the coach though. And they'll listen to the coach. They'll say the same thing, and then the dad will be like, "Nigga, I've been telling you this shit the entire time, but you listen to your coach." Like, I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird thing. It's weird. It's interesting, but weird. You gonna stop looking so perplexed, like.
Oh, because that's crazy, bro. Because not even 2 seconds before we started this, bro, I go to my father. I was like, "Your dad." Keep in mind, my dad don't really, like, nobody truly knows anything about most things. I was like, I need some dental work. Can you look at this and tell me if I fucked it up? Why am I asking that man whose profession has never been in any doctor's office, any type? And I'm like, not me asking something that's like, potentially could be serious. Asking this man his opinion on something that, I should just calmly call my doctor for, because I have one. Like, and that'd be crazy, because why did I do that? What? And dads really don't run everything neither in the family. So why are
At
you
all.
asking the question is crazy. So I was like, well, damn, what moment did I just have to myself? Maybe I was on drugs. I don't understand. I didn't understand that moment. And it literally happened like, what, an hour ago before he left the house? Why did I ask that man for anything? Bro, like, what? And then, like, you ever, and I love this because remember we were both like, we had both had the same major, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we discussed, like credibility in like brands.
Yeah.
For a fact, I know that my grandmother ain't gonna pick up a certain pack of sugar unless it got the name Domino on it. Me, I don't give a fuck. I'm cheap. I'm gonna get the great value. You're not about to play me like that. It's all the same thing. But for some reason, that name on there means something. Why?
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be like, yo, or like people be fighting, don't drink Poland Springs, don't drink Deer Park, drink the other stuff. Why?
Why?
And it'd be like, because y'all feel like one brand is better than what? All right, first of all, let's talk about what they selling that, the other's not. It's water. Then it's like, damn, what weight do they hold that they don't hold? It's all spring water. So what's the difference? And why am I fighting to get this one rather than this one? It'd be like, damn, why am I doing this? Like, why would I rather go to Nike and spend $50 on a pair of pants instead of just going to Primark and getting 10 pairs of pants for $5 each? Why? Why is it that I feel like this shit is way better than that?
Because it's like I said, like this is what I think. It's the opinion of other people. Like you can't walk outside with some fucking sketches on. Like it's over for you. Like all day. Like we right at like get your light up shoes the fuck out of here, yo. Like go stand into a Christmas tree and light that shit up. Like the jokes is coming. But if I come in there with, the shit that people deem popular, like, I'm good. Like I'm the envy of the town. Like, like I don't know. Like it's the opinion of other people. Like I'm not about to spend $20,000 on no outfit because I want a nigga to say, "Ooh, you look nice in that." No, I'm not.
Fact.
Fuck out of here. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. Like I'm about to have $150 worth of clothes or like if that, and I'm gonna make this good.
Facts.
Like,
that's crazy. Like, and that's a fact though. You just said that, and we come from two big cities, right? So tell me something. You can't step outside looking a certain type of way because you know somebody gonna say something to you. I'm in New York. A crackhead gonna bust my ass. He gonna cut my ass dumb hard if I walk outside with some sketches on you, right?
You feel me?
So I really gotta put on the expensive shit just because I care about other people's opinions, bro.
Like who?
That was when
Like
I was
again,
younger. I can't walk outside with Crocs.
who really cares though? Like honestly, like just like you said, the crackhead, like the fucking the bummiest person that you can imagine is going to talk about you like they got everything. Like this person has nothing, but I'm going to talk about you too. Like I don't give a fuck if I have nothing. I'm going to talk about you, and for you to be the person that they're talking about, you should be. I ain't gonna say you should, but like, look at you, bro. Like, what do you mean? Like, why? Like, your opinion means nothing. Who really cares? We both look crazy. Like, don't give a fuck. Like,
the facts.
Yo.
That question of who really cares hits, but then it'd be like, we care.
No, but it's a double. It's a flip on a
yeah.
Like who really cares? Everybody does. Why do we care? We don't know. Does it really matter? No, not really. Does it matter to us? Absolutely.
And it'd be like, well, damn, like, just damn.
Yeah, I mean it's a fucked up cycle, and I do think that people who fall into this cycle tend to struggle because they have no sense of self individuality, no self esteem, because you put your value into other people, you know, you deem yourself valuable if somebody else views you valuable. Like me personally, if I walk into any room, like I'm gonna be me, like regardless, like not of how you see me, because like, you know, like, I don't really give a fuck, but like it feels nice if you do care. Like, don't get me wrong, like I'm not a robot. Like I'm not a robot. Like I care about, you know, if people think I'm a good person or something like that. But that's not gonna deem me to be like I'm a bad person if people think I'm not good. Like, I don't give a fuck. I know I'm good, but like hopefully you see that. And if you don't see that, then that's on you. Like, if you can't see the value in what I bring to the table, go, you know, over there with that. Like, you know,
You go over there with that.
hopefully you find what you're looking for. If it's not what this is, somebody's gonna deem this, you know, valuable or whatever. I already do it for myself, so I'm good, regardless of whether you do it or not. Like, this, you know, I'm bringing value to every room I walk in, because that's how I carry myself. You know, for myself, by myself, with myself. Everybody doesn't have that ability to do that. So when the lights go off, the crowd goes home, and they stuck by themselves, they don't know what to do. It becomes an internal struggle, and that's a real thing. Should you care? Probably not. Do you care? Absolutely. And that's the name of the game. You gotta say something. You can't just stare at
This
it.
was the best conversation I had in my life in a very long time. There's not a lot of people that can talk to me and make me think like extra hard.
Well, that's why
I know it seemed like I'm zoning out, but I'm not.
I'm saying, well, that's why you tune in to the HolloTalk podcast every week, because I perplex you.
Oh, look at you with your SAT words. Period. Okay.
You know, any moment now, whenever you're ready. You know.
You talking about any moment now? I have. What are you asking me a question? Did you ask me a question?
No, I didn't. It just looked like you were about to say something.
No, bro. I don't.
Okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna stop torturing your mind real quick. Give me,
because you can see that the smoke is coming out of my ears, and it's like, okay.
All right, real quick, just three things that people should take away from this convo, and I'll probably do my three too, because I know you're not gonna let me go without doing my three.
After you just say you should stop doing that to my brain, you just ask me three questions they should take away. Three questions they should take away.
No, not questions. Just things, like just things that to take away from this conversation.
I think you should always question the credibility. Question it like heavily.
Like question who's saying who's saying it.
And everything. Who's saying it? Who's singing it? Who's rapping it? Who's buying it? Why are you buying this? Like, what? It really goes into everything, because it's like, damn. It's just like, damn, that shit really do affect you a little bit. It really do. Like, in a lot of ways too.
Yeah, it does. Truly. What's number two?
Yeah. Number two, one, if y'all didn't catch that, I feel like a lot of the viewers that don't personally know Nik needs to start dropping comments and, explaining to, the podcast host, why you listen to this podcast? Show some love, show some support. Like, let me know what I'm doing wrong and what I'm not doing. Then for the last thing, ask why for everything. Why is your best friend? Go deep into it. Ask why. All the time. It's gonna get on your nerves because it gets on my nerves. But ask why for everything. Ask why for everything. Questions. I already said that.
That's cool.
I got
You reiterate it.
Don't let things stress you out like this, because I know y'all saw my face the entire time this whole thing was going on. Oh my goodness. I'm sitting like, I started questioning everything too while I was sitting here. I was like, why are my neighbors outside? Why is my dog barking? Why is the TV still on? I'm not watching. Like, everything became a why, but it didn't have nothing to do with this. But it was like, damn, I was gonna question why. Like, why? Like, why is my dog fast asleep next to me right now? Like, she got a dog. Why? Whatever. Why did Nick bring me on this podcast to stress me out today? Why?
I didn't stress you out. That wasn't my intentions to stress you out with my question. I just had a thought to myself, and I figured you would be a perfect person to have this conversation with. So my bad. I'm sorry. I hope you forgive me.
Evaluate the opinions of others and your own.
Oh, you got more than 3
before taking it into like taking it in.
Say that again. That was a bar, not a gym. Say that again.
What did I say?
I don't know. That's what
because I said evaluate the opinions of others before you take it in, bro. Because damn.
So bar.
It's a Snapple fact.
Right.
I like them.
Let me see.
My
3. My 3. Yeah. Value your own opinion as much as the next person's. Listen to everything, but remember that it all doesn't apply. And my third one. Always be content with yourself. Just allow yourself the space to be happy with who you are, and also allow yourself the space to grow and evolve. Those are my 3.
You spicy, ricey, dicey. I
like that. Like
that was spicy. I like that. That was like,
yeah, those are my 3. I feel like that's a solid 3.
That was a solid 3. I like that. That was actually nice. Sounded way better than what the fuck I just said.
No. And you had a bar in yours. You had 3.
You talking about you had a bar in yours.
You had 3 plus a bar.
I'm gonna wrap it out. There's my credibility.
Don't listen to that shit. That's her opinion, yo. Don't listen to it. All right. Okay. I'm gonna wrap it. I didn't smoke your brain enough. My bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but it's a nap. It's all right.
No, but real quick though, before we wrap, I do want to reiterate what you said too about the listeners commenting and sharing their opinions on the podcast, why they listen to it, what they like about it, what they don't like about it, all those things. That is much needed. Like the feedback is definitely needed, and I would be very, very appreciative of the feedback from the HolloTalk podcast listeners and supporters. So please do, please do comment and, share your opinions on the podcast and our conversations. That'd be much appreciated. But this has been another episode of HolloTalk Podcast. DopeQueen, I want to thank you for coming on the podcast and having this deep introspective conversation about why and who really cares and why does it matter. I'm sorry if I had you on angles this whole time trying to figure out what I was talking about. I apologize, but we held it down.
We did that. It was nice.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. And for the HolloTalk Podcast listeners and supporters, I want to say thank y'all for supporting us each and every week. And please comment and share your opinions on the podcast and our conversations. Stop body rolling. No, but seriously, thank you again for this. I appreciate it. So
thank you.
For sure. And I hope to have you back soon.
Of course.
All right. So we're gonna roll out. Remember, everybody, value your own opinions as much as you value everyone else's. That's my number one joint. All right, so we're gonna leave on that. Love you. Stay black, stay blessed, and stay up. I had to steal it from you.
Oh, you were supposed to let me say that. Okay.
All right.
Go ahead. Take us out, boy.
Yeah.